Okay, we're live.
She's in Vegas.
Vegas.
Yes, she resignated and she's in Vegas.
She had to go to another state to get away from you.
Yeah, she had to go to a swing state. Damn her. No, just kidding.
She changed sides.
Anyways, I hope everybody's had a great week. We have so many stories. Well, I have many stories. So much is in store for you. I don't even know where to begin, but we probably should start. Welcome to Do It Like Danny. I'm going to tell a million stories, and maybe one will hit home, and you'll be like, wow, that happened to me. And it's not about me. Well, it is. You know, television is a very, very crazy beast. I learned so much at Tyra. This is real emotion. This is something that I experienced.
I want the world to see what I have always seen, and that is the love that you have for just being yourself.
I love this person who knows who he is, who can make people laugh.
I think the script I gave you was a little bit different, but I'll take that.
Okay. Sorry.
I'm drinking at work because it's my show. I drink on my show. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Thank you so much for liking, following, subscribing, and commenting. We really do appreciate it. Whether it's for or whether it's against, we don't care. I try to answer as much as I can. So does Louie, and so does Cousin Angelo, who is back. He's back as always. We love. Thank you so much. We are here in beautiful Montecito. And it's a beautiful, lovely day. No longer are we suffering from quadruple digit heat.
Thank God.
Thank God. Thank God. First and foremost, though, I promised you, Desiree, that I was going to wear your shirt here. Now, you can see it. See the little. Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
So it says Thug on it, right? Thug Life. And it's got the cast of Hocus Pocus in various poses, very similar to The Outsiders. But you know what? I should probably explain it better. Let me show you my commercial. So listen, I hope that you get an opportunity to go to her website and you get an opportunity to order some of her items. They pretty much do anything that you'd ever want. Parties, bar mitzvahs, baptisms, and quinceañeras. So thank you again so much. This was my birthday gift from you. You always give me the most amazing gifts. Thank you so much, Desiree, for doing that. I really appreciate it. And always welcome to the family. As we say, welcome to Do It Like Danny. So thank you. So, big week, boys.
Big week.
Yep.
Right?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Lots of positive responses from your outburst. It was great. I mean, listen, I had a really good time. I thought it was a good opportunity. I mean, you know, I have kind of been, not on the fence, but, you know, I kind of want to see both sides. You know, everyone's so pro Kamala in California, and I get it. I understand, right?
Yeah.
And, I mean, I probably should just let you have the most passion for this. So, Angelo, your thoughts?
Yeah. Well, I'm still looking for my cats. I know the dogs are safe. So I think we did a pretty good job. Really, I think our hand is on the pulse.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, just tapping into the debate and being able to share what our thoughts are really made a difference.
I was surprised how many people actually watched. Not
Yeah.
that I'm saying we don't get people to watch, but we got more people to watch that than, you know, almost our Comic-Con video. It's there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You need to make a talk.
Yeah.
We need some more reels and a talk.
Yeah.
We need to kind of throw some fun inside there also. I feel there's a lot of play in there.
Oh,
Right
yeah.
now, it's like it's a hotbed.
Oh, yeah.
It's a hotbed of hypocrisy.
There's
You're right?
too much play into that.
There's too much. There's too much. Oh, excuse me. I clear my throat because although Kamala, performed very well. I mean, I think she did an amazing job. She had some amazing zingers. Obviously, the most notable one that I can remember and think of is 81 million people fired you.
That is your favorite.
Yep.
That is my favorite. I mean, that's a number. That's a huge number. Some people didn't vote. Some people did vote. And the ones that voted for the right person at that time. Right?
Yeah.
But I think his
I like that.
expression to that comment said it all.
Oh,
He
absolutely.
knew.
Yes.
He knew that he was fired by America, or half of America.
I
at
think you
least.
can go back and actually watch where he starts to crumble right then and there. I think it was that one, or when she said he had nobody at his rallies, or people were leaving.
That was
it.
it.
One of those
Yeah.
two.
When she said, I invite you to
Yeah.
go to his rally. And we were like, I was floored. I was like, oh, right. It was almost like a touchdown. You were like, I don't know football, but I'm saying if I did know football,
Oh God.
it was almost like a touchdown.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh my God. Like we all erupted.
Yeah.
Like, holy crap. Like, and I kind of want to go. I probably would get murdered or killed or a date.
or a day.
Oh God.
I come back from it. I'm like, you guys are getting married.
Suddenly you're wearing your head to toe in MAGA gear. You've got a Trump flag on the back of
Boy,
your
he
car.
switched quick on a dime.
Meet my husband. His name is Billy Bob. Yes, he's missing a few teeth.
But you got a double wide.
Oh, yeah.
You. And I could travel all over the nation with it. Cue the banjo music.
Well, I think, considering we had no idea what they were going to talk about for the most part, or how they were going to respond,
Or
to
how
each
we
other.
were going to do that. We had no idea what the hell we were going to. That was our first time really attempting to do that,
Yeah.
which was fun.
Yep.
I mean, do you feel that she kind of covered her bases, if you will, in terms of answering the questions?
I think she did a really fantastic job on not only getting her policies across, right? Her vision for the future, but she was able to get in digs to Trump, which we were laughing about
Yeah.
because it really threw him off his game.
Yeah.
And he couldn't get outside of his head. So you make a comment like, no, people are leaving your rallies, and he's not thinking about the question. He's
No.
thinking about wanting to rebut that.
But you had also said, even when we were watching it, like you were the first one to call attention to the fact that he was like the statue of David. I shouldn't. I want to ruin
Yeah,
David.
yeah,
Sorry, my bad.
please.
I'm
Thank
trying to
you.
think of what are the Easter Island statues. Yeah, he was like an Easter Island statue. He was stoic. He never faltered, and every time he did refer to her, he would point over to her.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed that. Like after when I went back when I watched our show, I was like, oh my God, he's straight. He stared forward and he would just do this. And so I was like, wow, that's kind of crazy. Such training they put him through.
What do you think the strategy behind that was, though? Like, why would anybody do that? Shouldn't you look at the person you're debating?
I don't think it was a strategy as much as it was he has a Celine Dion disease, statue syndrome.
Oh, poor Celine. Celine.
Oh, now we're all Celine Dion.
Ah, hit the chest and lean back. Ah, to Celine.
He couldn't move.
Viva Canada.
He couldn't move. He wouldn't move. He wouldn't look at her.
Yeah, he wouldn't.
Who knows? I think they prep both of them, right?
Of course.
As best as you can.
Yeah.
But then you're in it, and then you realize you've got 57 million Americans watching you. That's pretty unnerving.
Yeah.
Well, I think you were right also too when you, or maybe I don't remember who said it, but
I did.
I feel I feel like they gave him something.
Oh, yeah.
Because he
Oh,
was
yeah.
You said
he was super tranquil.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He was like focused and he was listening. He was listening to her response in an effort to counteract and undermine her,
Yep. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And she was also doing the same thing too. I mean, she had a lot of amazing digs. The interesting part is when, of course, I love my little dirty face base. So I went onto face base because I do have a lot of friends that are Trump supporters.
Uh-huh.
It is what it is, right? I don't. they're still my friends. I'm not gonna let this political landscape, like, I'm not gonna go, you're black.
Dictate.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
listen,
so
then I truly would be narrow-minded,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And I don't want to be narrow-minded. I wanted to learn both sides. I wanted to understand why these crazy people, enjoy his rhetoric. And
Yeah.
I want to know if he really, really did change America, right? And so I would like look up certain things, and he didn't really do much. I mean, he was riding on the coattails of Obama.
Yeah.
And he was riding on the coattails of, of what was coming up. He didn't really do a lot,
It was dumb luck that he got elected in 2016.
You think?
well, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I don't know if it was dumb luck, but I think it was just a fluke. Because I don't think he ever expected to really get elected. So can you imagine Donald Trump is sitting on his golden throne thinking, I'm going to come up with a healthcare plan. You know what I mean? It's like, and then detail that. There's no forethought to any of his
And it's so interesting
policies.
that you bring that up. I'm sorry, I talked over you.
No.
It's so interesting that you bring that up about his golden throne. I mean, it's no secret that his a condo or whatever mansion in New York, everything is in gold. A
Really?
gold toilet, gold everything. He has gold in everything. And then you would see, so shortly after the debate had aired, then Taylor Swift endorsed Kamala.
Yeah.
So then people were like jumping on her, right? And the memes were like, I mean, listen, people are very creative.
Yeah.
That was what I was waiting for. That's why I went to FaceBase, right? I went to FaceBase because I wanted to see what people. The number one meme was, dogs and cats reactions, and then the voiceover of him saying, they're eating cats, they're eating dogs.
They're eating
And
pets.
then the look of like the dogs or they were hiding or they were running, right? So I thought that was really funny. But when they announced that Taylor was endorsing her, it was interesting because then the memes came out and said, well, you're basing your decision on someone that, according to all of her songs, has always picked the wrong person.
Oh, wow, that's a good one.
Right?
That's a good
And
one.
then they showed her with all of her glamour and all like dolled up and said, you're going to listen to this person that's always had riches, that doesn't even know your name and doesn't even care about you. And I'm thinking,
Donald Trump's the same way. He
Okay,
doesn't know all
thank
your
you.
names.
He doesn't know
who
your
you are.
names.
And let me be honest, neither one of those candidates, in my opinion, will ever know your name. They're going to do what they're going to do that fits that, I guess, party that they're in. Whether it's good for you or not good for you, it's kind of irrelevant. It's just going to be what it is.
unless I try to shoot them.
Which, by the way, did you guys hear about today's shooting?
No.
There was another shooting today in Florida, I think at one of his golf courses.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and he
Thoughts
was
and
evacuated.
prayers. Thoughts and prayers.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if it was at him, but there was a shooting today.
Huh.
Well, thoughts and prayers. I think it's funny for a man that claims we don't have an issue with guns, gay speeches behind a bulletproof glass. I'm just saying.
So just kind of
in my humble opinion.
just kind of getting back to Taylor Swift, JD Vance was talking about how are we really going to listen to this worldwide sensation like a Taylor Swift who has billions of dollars and is kind of buffered from reality? Well, can't you say that about Trump?
You can say that about
He's
every one of those
I
candidates.
mean, he is in the same position.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry.
No, he's
but,
a billionaire buffered from society,
but
really.
but the difference is Taylor, it is proven, and she doesn't even release this in the press. She never wanted to be like Beyonce. And, I'm sorry, did I say that loud? She gives in every venue or every concert, she donates to the food banks. She gives the crew extra bonuses.
Yeah, she does.
She gives back.
Yeah.
She really does.
Yeah.
A lot of that money goes back into wherever she is in that particular state. And she created all these jobs. So I'm kind of going to side with Taylor on certain things. I mean, I don't hear about the philanthropy of Trump other than other than him asking for more money. I get text messages saying, donate to my cause.
His
All the
And I
time.
get them from her too. And hers are aggressive. So, and I really quick to throw this in. I got a text message. I should show you. I think I deleted and blocked it. But it literally said, we have messaged you 7 times and you have not told us who you're going to vote for. And I was like, oh my God. That's a little crazy. Both of them.
But that's how you can misunderstand a text, right? Because
that was actually from Angela, if I remember correctly. You know what I found weird is that Taylor Swift fans were lighting her merchandise on fire, going back to that kind of protest, I guess you would call it.
Wow.
And I found that a little much. It's really not that serious. You could still like her and vote for whoever the fuck you want to vote for.
Well, this probably would have to be fact checked. Excuse me. It could be a theory of conspiracy or a conspiracy of theory.
Love that shit.
They said that after she announced that, they received a surge in voter, was it registration?
Yeah.
About like a 500,000 or something.
I think it was on her
like
website or on her webpage or Instagram or something like that, where it was leading people to register to vote. You're right.
Yeah,
I
and
saw
so
that
listen,
too.
if there's a 500,000 of them, then there's definitely more out there. I mean, listen, it's going to be very close. Would I going back to when you said earlier, because I was going to interject and say something about Trump getting nominated. Was it a fluke? Yeah, but I think at that point, I think as American people, we are always at the same position, which is, what about us?
Yeah.
Why do we get the shit end of the stick? We were born here. We work here. We are legal. I have contributed to society for multiple years, and we all get fucked.
Yeah.
We're paying $10 a dozen for eggs. I mean, it's out of control. Now, does the president have anything to do with that? Not much. I mean, with checks and balances and infrastructure, it's very rare. That comes from more of a state thing. That's dirty Newsom and Karen Ass, but whatever.
Newsom.
I don't want to go on a tangent with those dumbasses. And so, all of these empty promises are coming down the line, but no matter who gets elected, it's not going to change.
Yes.
It's not going to change. And that's the part that I think that is the most disheartening, because as American people, we want change.
Yeah.
We don't want to be the laughing stock across. And yes, it's true. You should never care what other people think about you, but we should be proud to be Americans.
Yeah.
And we should honor our veterans, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
We should honor our teachers. I think in my humble opinion, I think that we don't pay our teachers enough money.
Nope.
And because of that, there's no respect getting taught.
Yeah.
There's none of that because they don't care anymore. I don't blame them.
And that starts at home, though, too.
Yeah, but then, come on, look at these parents nowadays. I mean, they let, Agatha and Tommy do whatever they want to do because everybody gets a trophy, and God forbid, they go against it. Then I'm going to call CPS. And today's kids, they're just coddled and spoiled.
Oh, yeah.
Because they don't know what it is to have a lemonade stand.
Right.
They don't know what it is to have a newspaper route. Because they look at you and go, newspaper route? What do you mean? We get everything via the phone. They don't understand that we've lost that base of culture that provided a strong foundation to make you appreciate money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where we are. So going back to both of the nominees, I didn't see that in either of them.
Correct.
And that's what I want to see.
I'm glad you brought that up.
I want to see that. Don't get me wrong. I want to choose the lesser of the two evils.
But aren't you tired of having to choose the lesser of the two evils? Shouldn't there be a candidate that we all go, that's the fucking guy?
Yes.
I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. We all go, that's the fucking guy.
Yep.
But you were really enthusiastic with Kamala.
I was,
I
because
think
a lot of what she had to say were good and positive, but it's still like how he said, I still felt that it's not the candidate I want. It's just the candidate that I know I'm going to vote for, because I wouldn't want to spread hate to anybody.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? And that's
yeah.
how I view
Yeah.
Trump. If you like Trump, fine, go ahead. But what I see is what I've seen in the history books that I read. It's like when you spread hate and vote for hate, that's how other people look at you as a country. I don't want that for me. I don't want that for you guys, because I don't know where that hate's going to be directed next.
And what we should quickly bring up also, too, and you put this in a text message to us. So he was just here the other day.
Trump?
Oh,
here at my house?
Oh, no.
He was next door.
Actually close. He was in Dirty Palace Verdes.
Oh, God, why couldn't he fall through that?
Right? He made fun of that. He goes, I don't know. I heard about this slipping into something called the ocean. Like, it was very flippant.
Yeah.
And he made fun of these people's misery. And by the way, Palos Verdes is a huge Republican area.
Yeah.
Trump has a golf course in that area also, too. I would have thought that he would have been a little bit more sensitive to that.
Yeah.
But then here we are,
Yeah.
right? So he, in that press conference, literally said, I am coming, because someone said, well, how are you going to deport 1 million people? He goes, I am starting in, was it Springfield, Missouri, right? And then the other one was Ohio. One of the two places that they mentioned, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Originally.
Yeah.
He said, I'm starting there. So what that reminded me of, and you brought this up, what gave me the spark, Chavez Ravine.
Yes.
And what people don't know, for those of you that are listening, that was also a precursor to a race war. Because for those of you that love Dodger Stadium, well, guess fucking what? There were people that used to live in those ravines and mountains, and they were Mexican.
Yep.
And they were legal. And they went in, police, the state, they went in and they deported people that were legal. People that were legal, they deported to Mexico. And it came to the point where they had to walk around with their passports to prove that they were legal.
Yep.
So if you're telling me you're going to do that now, it's like history repeats itself.
Yep.
And here we are. And it doesn't make any sense to me.
Thank you. It doesn't make any sense. The playbook's there. You can look at it. It's already been done. This isn't anything new.
Yep.
But if you're smart enough to know that, like, I'm not saying we're the smartest people here, but we've seen it. We've experienced it. It happened to our people.
Oh, yeah.
Those people in Chavez Ravine, the people that were deported back in the day. I think it was called Operation Wetback, and I'm not even making that up. It can happen again. Who's going to stop it? Nobody stopped it then.
And I don't think any cats or dogs were injured in that.
Were they living in the ravine?
but he actually said he's going to take the Haitians and deport them to Venezuela. Did you hear that?
Oh, I didn't hear that.
So people are like, where is he going? They're not even, they would go back to Haiti, not Venezuela.
So, he's
he's so all over the map.
He is all over the map.
Yeah.
And I want someone that's going to make the change, not Newsom. I want someone that's going to make the change and make it easier for all of Americans.
Yeah.
I mean, it's true. We pay through the ass. California is the most expensive city to live in. We have surpassed New York.
Oh, I was just going to ask you about that.
Yeah, we surpassed New York, which I think is very surprising. But the reason why, though, is because we have the additional element of our cars.
Yes.
So you have maintenance, gas, and also, too, we pay like $85 a gallon.
Yeah.
Which what doesn't make sense to me. Well, what I don't understand is why is it that when I go to Florida, that same gas is $1.85 a gallon versus
run by Republicans. That's why.
Oh, it's shit.
But people were
God, here we go.
So people were talking about the economy being really bad, and like since Biden's been in place, I think people seem to forget all of that stimulus money was being thrown at people. I know people who were unemployed and making 4 or 5 times more than they were making than when they were working.
Yeah, those Republicans, they cashed those checks, didn't they?
Oh, yeah. So, we talk about all those bad times, like people were in a soup line. They weren't. It's crazy, but I'm curious, did you hear a concise and direct message from Trump out of this debate?
Oh, God, no. No, because remember he kept repeating himself, and I said you could have played a drinking game out of every time you heard the word
immigration,
tariff, destroyed,
pets.
Okay?
Yeah.
And then even in the fight, like I wanted him to kind of, listen, I'm not for him, but not anymore. I never was to begin with, but I'm not for him. I'm not for her either. That's the hard part.
Yeah.
I'm so torn because
Stop being anti-Darnella.
I'm trying not to be, right? Excuse me, but here's where I'm at. So if you have just made it publicly known that you're going to deport people, what stops you after that? You're going to go after gay people, and pretty soon you're not going to serve gay people. You're not going to, or black people. Are we going to go back to using different fountains? Are we going to go back to different classrooms, different teachers? Is that where we're going as a nation?
But
I don't want to go back. I didn't live that. I don't want to live that.
Yeah.
And I've had a hard time enough as it is being a fucking homosexual. Do you think I want to fucking be worried about somebody coming and or attacking me and putting me in a camp?
What I think is really sad is I know certain people or some people, and I know some people who don't believe that can happen again. They think, oh, people are acting like the Third Reich is coming. You never know.
You don't know.
You can never say, I don't think that's going to happen. It happens all the time. You can go back to history and see this took place then, this took place then, and this took place then. And we're going through something like that, and it's really fucking weird, and it's really strange. I don't know how do you tell people to like wake up, pay attention to that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the hard part is to piggyback off of that. It goes the other side too, because Republicans are saying if she gets elected, it's going to be World War III.
Yeah,
we're gonna be communists. And again, it's like where did that come from?
I have no idea how
So
we're going to be
like,
communists.
It's two extremes going back and forth: nationalism, consumerism, capitalism. Like it's crazy. It's so crazy, and I just want to pay less money. I want to be able to afford the American dream, which is purchase a home. I don't want to have to pretend I've got 85 dependents, okay, and work the system in order for me to get aid and help.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm no lie. I'm on Obamacare, and let me tell you, it is the best insurance I've ever had in my entire life. Even when I was working and I had the PPO and I was paying $1,000 a month to go wherever I wanted. And for what? I still had to get referrals and bullshit. In this instance, they call me. They're like, oh, you need a colonoscopy. And you're like, oh, okay. Thank you so much.
That wasn't a doctor, by the way.
That was Jurgen.
Oh, my God. Let's switch it up. Let's switch it up. We got all
on.
crazy. We're moving on now. We're moving on.
Okay, we're moving
In happier news. Oh, Jurgen. Jurgen.
Just make this real worthy, all right?
Yeah. Listen, I
Should you remind people?
do enjoy having Jurgen around. I'm not gonna lie. I like having him around because I'm not alone.
And for the people who might be tuning in for the first time, who's Jurgen? Let them know.
Oh, Jurgen, spelled like Jurgen's lotion, is my roomie, and that's how he says it. So I have to pay homage to him saying roomie, and maybe I get a photo of him. We can put him up. This is a roomie. We're gonna do. I'll get a nice shirtless photo of a roomie, and it's not terrible. Right?
Yeah.
It could be worse, like the last roommate. Oh, God, that was awful.
The one that
You're
roofied you?
assassin. You're
Oh,
an
God,
attempted assassin.
the one that had cockroaches coming out of his
Oh,
room.
so
out of his
bad.
head.
I don't even
out of his
wanna-
ears.
Oh, God, I just can't. Ugh.
Yeah.
It's, Jurgen's, he's a gay man, but he's a boy.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't wash his sheets. He doesn't wash anything.
Well, I think we got a picture of some food,
Oh, yeah.
which you'll go with.
So anyway, so backstory on him, it's always a fight. It's like, just rinse your dish out. Just do this. So the other night, I had made some spaghetti. And whenever I make spaghetti, apparently he enjoys it because he eats it. And he eats like a 2-year-old. It's chicken fingers, Taco Bell. Like, he's very particular. He doesn't eat celery. I mean, it's like so... Honestly, the list is endless of what he won't eat. But God, show him a bag of gummy bears. He's all over it, right?
It's like Kieran. Kieran's like that too.
Yeah, I don't even know if Jurgen eats pizza. Kieran eats all pizza and hot dogs.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So anyway, show him a bag of gummy bears or something from South Africa, and he's like all over it. And so I made spaghetti, and it's always homemade. It's delicious. It was good. I know it was good. And so I made a bunch of it because I know that listen, he does help me, so I can't complain. And what is it? One meal, right? Who fucking cares? But it's a big plastic tub. I wish I could have. I should have brought it. It's about this big. So I went to bed the other night, and I was tired. And Jurgen loves to play World of Warcraft.
Okay.
And it's like so loud in his room, and our rooms were right next to each other. And it's, you will die. And he's, right, you will pay. Like, it's like, the reward will be mine. Like, you hear all these, sound bites as he's playing. And then because he's playing with people from around the world, he's like, I need a healer. A healer for this, right? And like, I'm going to go over here. Okay, we're going to go to this cave. We're going to fly. Like, you hear. So I'm hearing all of these directional things. And I'm like, oh, God, I just want to go to sleep. I'm so tired. And then, and I'm like, Jurgen. And then he's like, he won't respond, and he's right there because he's so into the game. And meanwhile, his setup is it's like a TV tray looking thing. It has an additional fan because his computer is like built for gaming.
Yeah.
And the amount of heat and hot air coming off of that thing. So now his room is like
hot,
warm.
Yeah.
It's hot.
Condensation.
And there's a little bit of a smell there, like a locker room, because Jurgen doesn't like to clean things, right? And he leaves food in his room. He eats. He'll come home with a bag of something, and he doesn't think that I see him, and he'll go to his room to eat in his room. And the rule has always been, please eat at the table.
Yeah.
I don't care if you use 10 dishes.
Yeah.
I have a dishwasher, but don't eat in the room.
Yeah.
And he eats in the room, and I see bowls in the corner, and I'm like, just shut your mouth. Just shut your mouth. Just shut your mouth.
Don't control it.
Don't control it. Don't control it. And I'm just like, oh my God, how do you sleep in the bed? And there's a bowl of food literally right here, catty corner to you as you're like, me, right?
There's fajitas brewing in the corner.
Oh my God. And so I'm just like, oh, please rinse your dishes and let them soak. But of course, it's been there for like 4 or 5 days. His idea of rinsing and soaking is shh, and then he puts it in the dishwasher.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm like, that wasn't there. What?
The smell.
It smells, and I turn him over, and there are the remnants of everything, right? I know what he eats.
Yeah.
So fast forward to I'm sleeping, and he gets hungry at like 3 or 4 in the morning because he's been gaming. It's a rough life, It's a rough life. The fingers get hungry.
Man boy.
So yeah, super man boy.
I feel attacked. I play games.
I hear him, and I hear beep beep beep. I'm like, oh my God, I knew he was heating up the spaghetti, right? But I also knew that there was only enough for one more serving. Okay.
So he ate it.
So he ate it, which I was fine with. That
Help yourself.
That doesn't bother me.
Okay.
I do not care if he eats the food. To be honest, I really don't care.
Yeah.
I just want him to clean up his mess, right? So he sneaks off to his room, and I can hear the fork hitting the bowl in the room, right? So I'm just, whatever. It is what it is.
I'm literally imagining all of this.
Right?
That's so funny.
Right? So I hear it, and I'm just like, oh my God. I'm like, go to bed. You can't control it. I'm like, Elsa, don't control.
Let it go.
Let it go. I'm like, okay. I'll put my deaf ear. I have my deaf ear. I can't hear anything, right?
Oh my God.
So then, I go to sleep, and I wake up in the morning, and I have to go investigate.
Yep, you have to go investigate.
I'm fucking Nancy Drew. So
you like, I'm going to tell you.
Yeah.
You're like your mother. You're
Yep,
like your mom.
Thank you. Okay. Hi, Cecilia. Taking pictures,
photos,
videos.
She would go to bed, and then she'd wake up and be like, I'm going to go see what happened.
Yep.
And then I'm going to say some shit.
So
I'm glad he said it.
I knew he was passed out of sleep, right? So I walked by slowly past the room because we keep our doors open during the summer because the air conditioning doesn't blow so well in the rooms. But when the doors open, whatever. Anyway, so I kind of like look past him, and there it is in the corner. There's the bowl. And he like covered it with a napkin, and I'm like, oh my God, how do you sleep with food next to you? Okay, fine. Let it go. He's going to soak it, right? So I go to the kitchen, and I open the refrigerator, and I'm like, oh, I guess he didn't eat it all because there is the container. So, of course, nosy Nancy, I pull the container out, and I open it up, and I'm like, motherfucker, right? And there are literally like 4 forkfuls left of pasta.
Yeah.
So this is the photo,
Like how you
so that you can see the four forkfuls of pasta. But it gets better. So I don't say anything. I close it. I put it back in the refrigerator, right? So then I'm like, it was just bothering me all day, right? Because the last thing you want to do is come home and do that shit, right? I don't make him clean up my stuff. I throw the trash out. I do a lot.
Yeah,
and his claim is, I am never here. Well, bitch, for not being here, you sure do. There sure is a lot of mess, right? So I was like, I just can't. Then he put something else in the dishwasher, and he didn't rinse it. He likes to drink milk, but it sits in the room.
Oh, that's not good.
And then he doesn't rinse it out, and it goes in the dishwasher, and then it stinks, right?
Yeah.
So then there I am putting bleach in the dishwasher, and it's like a whole thing for me. It's like more work for me, right? So I was like, listen, Roomie. I approached it nicely. Listen, Roomie. I said, but it's kind of, I don't care. I precursored it with, I don't care if you eat the food, but please clean up your dishes. And he goes, what do you mean? I go, we both know that you didn't eat all that spaghetti is because you didn't want to clean the fucking container. And he just laughed. And I knew it. I knew it. How lazy. He's such a brat. And then of course I don't talk to him. I ignore him. That's the pattern. I ignore him, and then he's like, okay. So then he throws the trash, and then the dishes get washed. But like I have to like ignore him and get angry before he does anything. It doesn't make any sense, because if he just kind of did a little bit along the way, we'd be in a good place.
He kind of likes that though, huh?
He
Maybe
does.
he wants
like
you
that,
angry.
yeah.
He wants you angry.
We're onto something here.
Ay, ay, ay. You can clean your dishes. But anyways, enough with the Roomie saga and the Chronicles.
Ay, ay, ay.
In happier news, I went to a concert this past weekend. I went with my cousin Tiffany, and it was absolutely amazing. Louis is going to show you who was there. This is the lineup. There were like 30 different one-hit wonders that were from like the late 80s to like very, very early 90s. It was Crystal Waters,
Oh, wow.
Robin S., Tiffany, Expose, oh God, who else? Shit, Tone Loc,
Oh wow.
JJ Fad, Brenda K. Starr. Remember? I had a dream, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't have a dream anymore. She tried.
That's so cold.
She tried. Come go with me. Remember all those, like all those great
Oh, yeah.
songs, right? So I went with Tiffany because she's a blast. She loves to dance.
Loves.
This is Tiffany dancing every 5 minutes, right? So I have video of it. God bless her. She loves it. So we had a really great adventure. So we ended up taking the red line over to Grand Park, which is where it was being held.
How was that?
It was scary.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I've ridden. It's interesting. I actually am more afraid to ride the subways here in LA than I am in New York.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I in New York, I'm like, whatever. Someone's jacking off in the corner. You're like, that's a Friday. Oh, someone's
You're
taking a
throwing your
shit.
number.
You're like, oh, that's their breakfast. It's Monday, right? It's not a big deal. But for some reason, when we got on the red line there, and of course she was like, whatever, we don't care. And she was, she's used it multiple times, and I get it. But there's just, I don't know, I just don't feel safe.
Airiness to it.
I don't feel safe. And then also, too, it's kind of a joke. So the turnstiles, right? So I try to do the right thing all the time. I do have a high integrity, okay? So, of course, I'm going to buy the card. I'm going to put money on it. I'm
Yeah.
going to do everything that I'm supposed to do, right? Because my luck is the one time the cops come on, they're like, show us your tap cards. I'm like,
It's not cops. It's Trump looking to deport people.
okay, thank you. So the one time I end up back in Venezuela, and I'm like, here, I'm just trying to go to Grand Park. So I get the card. And by the way, it's really cool. I should have brought it. Oh fuck, I don't have it.
They're
Damn
just
it.
tap cards. They're
But
not that
it was
cool.
kind of cool. It's got like a heart with like an American flag.
Oh,
It looked
okay.
very patriotic in a cool, loving way.
All right, all right.
So I paid, and then you go down these long stairs, and you get down there. You're like in the recesses of hell down there, and I tap my card. I'm all proud, and I'm like, oh yeah, look, I paid. Boop, it lets me in, and then I turn around, and there's literally like 10 people that are like forcing it open. Somebody hits the emergency gate. It's a joke. I'm like, here, I just fucking paid money, and I had to buy a new fucking tap card, okay? Number 1 and 2, 3 and 4. And then to walk through the gates, and like another 9 people just skipped the fare. And I'm like, are you kidding me?
It's ridiculous.
Like, come on. So anyway, we get there. That part was easy because right when we popped out, we got out at Civic Center, and there was Grand Park.
Nice.
So we were VIP. We walked in. Everybody was great. I mean, the promoters or whoever organized and put that on, I have to give them credit because they were extremely kind. They were very nice. We walked up and we were, we had been drinking a little bit, so we were frisky and friendly. We did a little microdosing of the mushroomies, and it was, of course, so everything's wonderful. I'm like, oh my God, it's so great! Oh my God, look at the homeless. I love you.
It's a repeat of Disneyland.
Yeah, it was a repeat of Disneyland. I'm like, it's so amazing. Meanwhile, it was like quadruple digit heat, and I was like, oh, it's great. It's balmy. It's like I was melting. And so we pull up to the VIP section, and we're having fun with all. There's obviously they were gay because we were going back and forth. And he's like, "Do you want a water?" He must have seen me like literally like melting before his eyes, and I was like, "That'd be great." Well,
You're like Trump.
I was so thirsty. I was like, sucking it down, like Ace and a tip, and they were great. So we got our little VIP wrists, and we went in, and so it was separated because VIPs were on one side, and then the regular general public was on the other. Who was playing? I don't remember the time. We walked through. There were tons of food booths, plenty of alcohol stands. I mean, of course, everything was like $800, right? But there was like a Ferris wheel, a lot of really neat things that you could, in addition to listening to the concert, you could go partake in, right?
Okay.
If you got there early, you could buy like a special branded sitting chair, which I was like, I don't think I would want one. And then towards the end of the night, I was like,
I fucking should have got one.
I fucking needed one, right? So what I liked about it, which impressed me, is because everybody that was there wanted to dance.
Oh, cool.
It didn't mean there were gay, there were straight, they were trans. Everybody was there dancing, enjoying themselves, and having a good time.
And probably an older crowd.
I was just going to say that.
Yes
Or I
and
should
no.
say, okay.
Excuse me. Yes and no. In fact, there's somebody in the crowd I took a little video of, and he's younger. And if you noticed in this video, it reminded me of Weekend at Bernie's because he never lifted his head at all whatsoever. And his two friends had their arms interlocked between him like Weekend
hold
at
him up.
Bernie's. And he was like, and I'm like, it's 3:00 in the afternoon. Like,
He's
I
already
get
spent.
it. But he was enjoying himself in his own little weird way. He was dancing. He was like, right? Going back and forth. So I was laughing so hard. And of course, Tiffany, she's dancing with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And then she said, I'm going to the front. Come with me. And I was like, ever since I went to Coachella when Madonna was there, and I with my friend Philip, that was the first time I had ever been in a situation where there were so many people, and it's Palm Springs or Indio, and it was so hot, and we were all pressed together. And every time I would take a breath, I have to like inhale deeper because people were starting to crush and push. And if you've ever been in that situation, I couldn't even put my arms up.
Oh, wow.
But if I put my head up, I could feel that the air was cooler up there because of all the body heat, right? So you kind of wanted to pull your arms up so you could like feel some sort of like comfort and relief.
Yeah.
And when the concert started, I kind of like freaked out because I'm like, oh my God. Like I literally probably, me being as heavy as I am, I probably could have just picked my feet up and I would have never touched the ground.
Wow.
Because that's how tight it was. And Philip moved up forward with his friends, and I said, no, I want to stay by like the tent poles. But then even then people were, it was really, 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 I'm not claustrophobic, but if I was claustrophobic, I probably would have shit myself at that moment.
Yeah.
And so I had to leave because there was just, it was too tight.
Yeah.
So ever since then, I'm always very like,
You're all suspect. Like, I'm good.
I'm good. So I let her go do her thing, and she goes, there's plenty of room up there. But from where I could see, it was like, people, they were dancing and they were having a good time.
But it was just too much.
It was too much. And then we were all so wet and everyone was sweaty. And then it was dusty and it was sticking to it was like a mini Burning Man. I've never been to Burning Man.
But that's how you imagined it.
It was, because Burning Man, you see, they're like, everyone's like, oh, we're having a fantastic time. And they're like blowing powder out their mouths. Like, it's so much fun with goggles. And they take them off and it's just like caked around their eyes, right? So I was dancing in my area. I met these ladies and I met a man and we all started dancing, right? But what was great is they had those special chairs.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, cool. I made friends with them. And they're like, you can sit if you want to. And I was like,
fuck yeah.
thank you so much. So I sat a few songs. I stood. I danced. And then we all danced. And then they went to go get drinks. And then I went to go get. So we were like watching it. And that's the kind of camaraderie that I enjoy when we go to a concert.
Community, yeah.
Yeah. And it was everybody. And there was one guy, he kind of got crazy, but then everybody jumped on him like, get the fuck out of here. Because
nice.
and I like that. It was definitely like a hive-like mentality.
Yeah.
ultimately, we all had an amazing time. We danced. We had, it was great. Then the sun went down, and then it got busier. So I was, okay, it's a little busier now because all the people that were on the lawn now were like, oh, the sun came down, so there's no glare off the buildings.
Yeah.
We're not baking anymore. And then people started to cut in front. I'm like, whatever, it's fine. And then this pretty, I'm going to say Caucasian girl, she's 6 feet tall.
Uh-oh.
She stands right in front of me. And I'm like,
And for the record, how tall are you?
I'm like 5'9".
Okay, so you're
but
just
I'm
like
fat,
one notch
so 5
under.
is 7. Okay. And so, Brenda K-Star was about to come out, and I had a dream. Right. I wanted to see her, and I probably could have moved around her, but I was happy in my little area with my friends. We were dancing, we were having a good time, and this broad comes and stands right in front of me. But that wasn't it. It gets better. So all of a sudden, she's dancing. She's enjoying her life. I don't know what beat she was dancing to, but it was definitely not the beat of the concert.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, she pulls out this fucking fan and goes, and I'm like, the sun went down? You don't need a fan. And she begins to fan herself.
Oh, my
And she
goodness.
begins to do like Madame Butterfly.
the choreography.
Okay, a rendition of Madame Butterfly. She's over here moving it about the cabin, and I'm like, I'm trying to see. So I have video, so you can be the judge yourself. And I have video that I took of her, so you can see how much of an obstruction she was in my point of view. So this is the young lady who was dancing in front of me, and as you'll notice, she begins the Madame Butterfly dance. So yes, comment below. Let me know what you think when you like, follow, and subscribe. So, meanwhile, back at the ranch, Tiffany was gone for a couple of hours, but I was having my own good time, and she was having her own good time, but I would check in every now and right, because my phone was starting to go low on battery, and I'm like, hey, are you okay? But then I guess at some point she got a little too drunk, because she goes, my bag is gone, I lost my bag. Meanwhile, around my neck, I'm like, what's right here? She gave me her bag before she went up there. So I said, I have it. And she's like, well, come up here. And I'm like, no, I'm good. So I had to go to the restroom. This is towards the end of the evening. I think it was Expose that went on, and they were having all sorts of sound issues.
Oh, wow.
It was bad. It was really bad. They were like trying to come go with me, and it was not going anywhere. And they were trying to sing, and then one of them literally said, we're so sorry, folks. We're so sorry. And she just kind of put the mic like that.
Wow.
And then people were scrambling and trying to figure it out, right? But before that, I totally forgot. Oh, my God. You know who came out? It was Tiffany. Remember? I Think We're Alone Now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, she's been too alone.
Oh,
They left her alone
For too long.
at the local Olive Garden.
oh no.
Because let me tell you, she's I think we're alone now.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. No one gave her the insight that Ozempic was the big thing. Still, she...
Well, the way you made her sound, she was going through transition.
No, well, it gets better. So I never realized she's more of a rock chick.
Oh, interesting.
So I was expecting, I think we're alone now. And we got a very different version of it. It was more like, I think I'm alone now. And she's screaming, not screaming, but she was doing this riff and stuff. Great voice.
Yeah.
Great voice. Wrong song choice. Be Simon Cowell for a hot second, even though it was her own song. Wrong song choice.
Something else.
Daniel's trying to gong her off.
Yeah. I was like, where is my gong? And literally, I was like, I think we're alone now. I was trying to sing the regular song, and people were kind of like, okay, all right, we're gonna kind of go with it. But yeah,
we paid for this.
we did pay for it. And then the promoters, because it was already 10, 11 o'clock at night. I mean, we'd been there all day long.
Yeah.
People are hot and tired. The last thing they want to do is wait for more performances. Get them out here. Vanilla Ice was the closer. Expose was before
there?
him. No, he was there. And so they did fireworks. And then they go, we have a surprise for you. So, of course, it got really quiet. And I go, Janet Jackson's here.
No way. I knew
And
you were going to
people were
say
like,
that. I knew
what?
it.
I go, Janet! I'm screaming. You know, I have a very shocking enough. I know you don't think so. I'm very demure, but I do have a loud voice.
You're very mindful.
Yes. I was trying to be mindful to let everybody know that Janet was there, right?
Yeah.
Because they shut all the lights off. The spotlight went out, all of the stage light, everything. They go, everybody, we have a surprise. And I'm like, Janet, right? So people started laughing, and you could hear because it was like that quiet, right? And so then also they go, turn around. And I'm like, Janet's here. No, it was a drone show.
Oh.
And it was like, it was set to We Love LA. I was like, So people were like, fuck this, we're going to the bathroom.
we're leaving. Bye.
Everybody went to the bathroom where they were leaving. And it's like, and then the funny part was the drone show was behind a group of trees. So all I saw was like lights. I couldn't even see what it spelled.
Yeah.
But they did like the Dodger symbol. It looked really cool. I mean, drone shows were kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I prefer fireworks.
Yeah.
Me personally. Sorry, pets and animals. Go fuck yourself. I like fireworks.
Trump rally, everybody's leaving.
Yeah, right? Oh, seriously. So then fast forward to the end of the night as I'm going to the bathroom because of the drone show. We're waiting for Dirty Vanilla Ice we're waiting for Dirty Vanilla Ice. I go to the bathroom because the VIP bathrooms were air conditioned.
I look at him. He's like, oh, I'm
Nice.
proud of that.
Let me hang out here a little while longer. And so who do I come across? Tiffany dancing in the clearing. She's just there dancing with these folks and dancing with security. And I'm like, oh my God.
Tiffany, your cousin,
Tiffany,
not
my
the singer.
cousin.
Not the
Okay.
singer.
Yeah, Tiffany. No, not Tiffany. But Tiffany, my cousin. And here's more
Is she
video.
really your cousin?
Well, because it's Gina.
I
Like,
know.
I know
Okay,
how to be
okay.
like,
I
yeah,
didn't
like,
mean to- yeah,
how do you
yeah,
explain that? She's like she's a family. She's family. It's easy to say cousin.
Yeah.
Calabash cousin. She's Ohana. So she's dancing, having a wonderful time. Like, oh my God. So I finally found her. And of course, I finally sat down and then my legs were cramping.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because I stood for so many
Yep.
hours.
You're not used to it no more.
Your hamstrings. I was like, oh, am I an old man? Oh my God, because then I danced for quite of the night also too. So I was like, oh my God, am I going to feel this tomorrow? I need extra turmeric.
Need to go dancing more often.
Yeah.
Fish oil.
So then I said, listen, I'm not waiting for Vanilla Ice. Let's fucking go. I'm tired. It's 11:30. I'm exhausted.
Yep.
I peed once.
Oh, wow.
And I probably had 3 waters and 2
Out of an
drinks.
all-day thing. Just the
UTI?
one time. Yeah.
That's bad. What'd you say?
UTI.
Yeah. I didn't go to that college.
Oh,
So I
man.
was worried that I was dehydrated, and I could feel it.
Yeah.
And when I got home, I drank a shitload of water. But on the way home, we had to take the MTA again. You know, I've got my little tap card. So I'm like, whatever, I paid for the money. Fuck it. So I hit the thing. In we go. And Tiffany and I are sitting on the train. And we were at, I don't know, Wilshire and Vermont. And all of a sudden, the cops walk in.
Okay.
Homeless, some kid selling candy bars with a speaker, full blast on a bike. Tiffany and I. And then some other homeless people, right? They came right to us, tap cards. And I'm like, there's homeless people over there. Like, they don't, you didn't ask them anything. He's wearing his chonies.
Yep.
He's got boogers crusted all over his
Yep.
beard and his mustache. And his afro is crusted over in I don't even know what.
Yep.
Right? And you bypass them, and there were 8 cops on the platform. These 2 walk in, a short little Mexican thing who looked like, I don't know who, I'm trying to think who's short, like, who's a good movie character that's short and like evil looking?
Kevin Hart.
Danny DeVito?
Yeah, like a female, good job. Like a female Danny DeVito. She walked in and she was all rotunda. And she's like, tap guard. And I'm like, the hell? And then he's like, and then it was the opposite. It was like Laurel and Hardy, the tall, skinny one. And he was Latino also. And he's like, tap guard. And I'm like, what? Does everybody have an accent? I feel bad. I don't have an accent.
They're getting deported. Don't
Thank
worry.
you. Thank you. Where's Trump when I needed you? Looking for cats and dogs.
Good one. That was a good one. I
So-
like that one.
So I'm like, that's me and injustices.
Yeah, we heard the spaghetti story. We got it.
You know me.
He left the 4 fork spoons. We got it.
I paid my way. How dare you question me on
You're an
the
American. For
thank
God's
you.
sakes.
And I'm not homeless or
Yep.
unhoused or whatever you want to say. And I'm like, Tiffany, and she's She's done. She's
She's
so
dancing.
tired. She's over in the chair, like she's doing this. She's reliving Tiffany. She's not listening to me at all whatsoever. Yeah,
alone
she's,
Mushroom kicked in.
she's over there like this, right?
I give you a lot of credit for being on a subway when we live in earthquake territory.
Yeah.
I would not want to be underground when
that.
an earthquake happens.
You know, who knows? Maybe that's the safest place in an earthquake.
could be.
I mean,
Maybe,
they
yeah.
retrofit those things. I mean, it's bomb-proof.
Ay, ay, ay.
If you look up above the panels, like when you go to London and those big, those are bomb-proofing panels. They're like metallic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's to prevent the blast from emanating out further above you and then all collapsing on you. I know it's crazy, right? You have to think about those things.
Yeah.
So did we finish that story?
Yeah. So no, let me finish it. So you know, listen, it was a great time to be had by all.
Louie and I were there.
Yeah.
We were in the non-VIP
It
section.
was so much fun. I had a blast, and I had taken that Monday off because I knew I was going to be exhausted and tired.
Uh-huh.
Unfortunately, it didn't sit well with someone. And so I'm going to have to explain that in the next episode. So coming up in the next episode, which is going to be tomorrow, you're going to get to hear what I did and what I'll be doing and when my last day is.
Drama.
Is it the last day of the show?
I don't
Is
know.
it the last day of eating pizza? Is the last day of me not taking Ozempic?
It didn't work.
What the last day is going to be. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Please like, please follow, tell a friend. Invite them into our insanity because you know what? It's never fun when you're by yourself being crazy. And with that being said, thank you, Angela. Thank you, Cousin Louie. And remember to always do it like Danny.